Hello and welcome everybody, this is Joseph, in time for more Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, Blade Wolf's DLC. In the last episode, we got into the actual field of combat, and it turned out that Miss Straw seemed to be generous enough to let us free, though she seems to be, I don't know, she may not have been, it may have been by mistake, I don't know. The Blade Wolf did thank her, so it seemed like she is at least trying to help us in a taunting sort of way. And in this episode, we're going to deactivate this force field that would normally kill us, but because we have an access code, we can now shut it down and pass through.
So, what now? You think you will run to the coast to freedom? Ha! Let me save you time. You won't make it. Just give up now, while you still can.
And we got enemies coming in, and that's... destroy this, there we go. So yeah, for those of you who haven't tuned in for the previous two episodes, just to reiterate, Blade Wolf is much more stealth oriented, being that he can't take very many hits in battle. He can hold his own to an extent, but he won't last very long on his own. Also, it's a lot easier to do stealth in this than it is with any of Raiden's missions, primarily because... oh crap, they saw me. Okay, well, looks like... ah, crap, they saw me. Oh, look. Ah, crap, I got one of the Moors. No, oh, crap, got one of the... ah! I hate these guys so much. Not the wolf so much, this guy here. So I'm actually very glad I'm able to kill them so fast. Blade Wolf might actually have some strength behind him. That might be his, like, some physical strength to his attacks. That might be his only saving grace for combat and why he can survive so well. Because Raiden is definitely the weakest attacking of them all. There we go. Okay. Raiden definitely got the weakest attack of them all. At least starting off base-wise. Sam's the strongest. So I guess maybe Wolf's a balance between the two. And let's go ahead and get that. Activate that. And I believe we're pretty much straight on out from here. Sukumi Civical. And of course it gets spotted. My stupid butt. My. Get rid of the rocket launcher guy right away. Don't have to worry about him anymore. Oh crap, they saw me. Actually, might. Oh. Yes, they stopped searching. Yes, I don't have to fight them. Okay, so we can open up this, and yes, didn't get spotted. Well, technically we did, but it's hard to press the button. So here we are, getting ready to fight the final boss for Blade Wolf's mission. You didn't think we'd get away with not fighting a boss, did you? Yeah, unfortunately you do have to fight a boss. It's actually a pretty cool mech.
If you don't know freedom, then I can't expect you to get out
So yeah, we get to fight Desert Storm, Camson.
But it don't matter. Understand it or not.
He was definitely way more machine than man. So yeah, the guy is basically the mech. And yes, block that. Haha. Block that pretty easily too. And he's gonna toss in the air and basically this thing can do is catch you in that sense. Just deal whatever micro damage you can and yeah, doesn't hurt you. Honestly, a guy that that was bad. That was stupid of me to get that repair nano paste. Ah, crap. I'm trying to get out of that move. Yeah. So yeah. And they'll catch us. And block. Yes. This I don't remember a whole lot of this battle, but I do remember it being pretty fun and pretty easy. Like even on normal difficulty, which is what I played originally. But yeah, typically a lot easier when you have a lot of med packs to rely on. I guess that might be one of the things they do in the harder difficulty. They restrict the number of the number of pair of nano paste you can use. Probably make it a little easier or a little harder to deflect the attacks, but I don't know. From what I've been told, it's not. I was trying to move, I hit the wrong button. Oh. Okay, and this time I'm going to try and... There we go. Oh, I didn't get it. Oh, I did get it back. Crap. Thought I didn't get hit. Okay, and... Crap. Maybe I should have done, counter assists. And there you go. The counter assist is definitely something that I would recommend putting on if you're your first time, especially your first time playing through, especially on a controller. Because the controller, it is really hard to block moves just because of the control stick. It's, I know it sounds like, you know, super... crap, my battery's on low. I know it's kind of like... crap. What I was talking about there. Ah. Well. There we go. I'm almost done with them now. I'm down to 10. 9, 8. And there you are, finishing moves! Yeah. Oh! Oh! Rip him off. Rip him out. Yeah, he was the mech. Oh no, he was the mech. All along. Yeah, it's kind of obvious at that point. Yeah, this is some twisted. These are some twisted characters here in this game. I didn't have the resolve not to die. Go figure. So yeah, we completed the battle, got a C ranking, which is kind of unfortunate. And our frame rate's really slow. There we go. Waiting for that to catch back up.
All this. And beaten by a goddamn mutt.
Yeah, that's right.
It is
Best
said
you.
all dogs have their day. You little fuck. Finally, I am almost free. You piece of shit! What about the freedom of this whole country? Freedom cannot be forced on others. It must be earned for oneself. Mangy, goddamn son of a...
Yep. And there's his remains blowing up into pieces. And that's why we never see Camson in the main game.
Almost.
Ah!
What have you done?
This is kind of tragic
I
here.
have activated your range inhibitor, of course.
You deceived me.
Such a mighty intellect indeed.
I hate Mistral so much.
Shake. Shake.
Ah! This is just screwed up so beyond all belief.
I will come up with a story for the debriefing. Do they see? This fight has nothing to do with freedom.
This is just
Why?
so effed up.
See only logic
So
and
effed up.
you would never understand.
And it turns out the whole thing was just a flashback.
Wow. Blade Wolf, you've been through so much.
Blade Wolf.
Yep, that's your name. I hope you like it. So, just after that was when Raiden saved you?
Yes, he freed me. Like me, he had been forced to kill. He has witnessed the dark side of human nature. But still, he continues to fight for what he believes in.
Yeah. And that's why I believe in him. He'll keep holding on to it and won't ever let it go.
And this is part of the reason why Blade Wolf's story is so much better than Just Stream Sam's. It's the story, the DLC. Sam's DLC just feels pointless and like a waste of time. In all honesty, because like it's not telling you anything you really wanted to know, nor is it telling you anything truly interesting. Especially considering it's about a character that you get very little interaction with. All you know is that Raiden wants to kill him for vengeance, and he does so just before the final level. Oh well, that's all you know about the guy. Like he wasn't really evil. He was just kind of forced to be evil. Whereas with Blade Wolf, like you were interacting with Blade Wolf the entire time, and then this tells you like Blade Wolf's story is actually a story. It actually does. As far as like DLC goes, like if they're assuming they're both the same price, because I got them both with the game when I bought it, which I assume that's what the PC version is. I'd say, yeah, Blade Wolf's DLC would be the one worth buying if you could only buy one. In fact, I would probably say just pass on Just Stream Sam altogether. So yeah. And the whole thing like with Blade Wolf, like you actually feel like there's actually a story in it. There's actually a point that you kind of learn a little bit more about Blade Wolf and its tragic history. And it does, even though it ends on a fairly downer note with him, you kind of realize, well, ultimately in the end, he does come back. He does make it. He does manage to survive. And he does eventually reach his freedom that he was so desiring. But with Jet Stream Sam, like, all he's out for is revenge. Okay. Why? You don't learn why. You just kind of learn that at the end of the day, he gives up on his revenge and becomes a mercenary for hire, essentially, for the same guys that he was trying to kill. Why? Because apparently he couldn't beat Armstrong, so if you can't beat him, join him, I guess it's supposed to be like, oh, he eventually defeats them through Raiden. Yeah, but again, you don't need to play the DLC to learn that. I guess you don't need to play the DLC for Blade Wolf to learn anything either, but like it at least tells you a lot more. It helps you a little bit more, and again, you understand Blade Wolf you understand Blade Wolf more as a character, and it kind of gives you more of a connection to him too with the story. Makes you feel for him a little more. And also, like, the gameplay, that's another big thing. Like, the gameplay for Jet Stream Sam is very bare bones. Even compared to, like, Raiden, especially compared to Raiden, because those would be the closest to play. He'd be the closest one to choose to play. It's like, with the Raiden, you got, like, all these combos you can do, you got all these different weapons you can, like, sub-weapons you can select, and, the gameplay does feel at least as varied as they could make it. There are sections you can try to stealth through, and that's part of the fun, is trying to stealth through, and even if you screw up, it's like, oh well, that's not the worst thing in the world. And you can still fight, and power your way through if you want. Whereas with Just Stream Sam, you can only just power through, and that's kind of what Just Stream Sam feels like. You're doing, you're just forcing yourself through it. And Blade Wolf is so different because it wants you to focus so much on the stealth aspect. And if you fail, yeah, you can still fight. As you noticed, I was fighting most of the battles anyway, even though I was trying not to. But again, if you fail, again, it's you don't want to fight because you're so much weaker than you should be at that point. And that's kind of the fun. That's part of the fun with Blade Wolf. And here we don't get any to be continued or ending cutscene, which I would have loved to see an ending cutscene for this, but I guess we saw it at the end. before the cutscene, before the credits. So yeah, we got quite a bit of the game results there. Hunter kills, we got 12. Beheadings, we got 2. 8 right arms severed. That's fine, that's funny. But yeah, here are at the end of the game, entirely, completely, 100%. Well, I guess not 100%, but no, we're done with the story, done with everything I wanted to get done with, and everything. So yeah, with all that said, it's been a fun ride, even going through Jetstream Sam, because I should at least go ahead and reiterate this. While Jetstream Sam's gameplay is it's boring and stuff, it's still not as bad as some other games I've played. And I've played some games where the gameplay is just unintuitive and uninspiring. God of War is one of those games I just don't particularly care for. And I understand the good. Anyway, Dante's Inferno is what I meant to say, and that's the game that kind of, yeah, felt uninspired and stuff as far as the gameplay goes, and kind of, yeah. But anyway, so yeah, with all that said, it's been a fun ride. Yeah. So with all that said, I need to end this eventually. With all that said, I'll see you guys in the next Let's Play.